won't tolerate a fake what I made up history. If you like to where you're taking chances, she's blue, paranormal, searching for the truth. Is it a man in a mask who knows for a demon? What is it like? What is the reason? She is blue, paranormal.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Just a quick intro. I went to Beechworth in January this year, visited with a friend of mine called Lisa, and we went along for a group investigation at the Mayday Hills Asylum, or the Beechworth Lunatic Asylum as it's also known. I was hoping to get a little bit of investigation in off to the side somewhere. I did try, didn't quite work, but there is footage at the end that gives you a good look at what it's like to try to investigate in a group. I don't recommend it. Sit back, see what you think, enjoy the history, and let's get into it. The nurses' quarters back in the day were very basic, as you can see by this photo. Just little shacks, really, out the back of the asylum. Thankfully, years passed and eventually they decided to build something decent for the ladies to live in. So they did. They built the Linacre building, which is now still standing, still in really good nick, has been renovated and is a hotel. And indeed, that's where I stayed while I was in Beechworth. I did ask the proprietor about ghost stories attached to the building. He told me a few, but I couldn't find anything to substantiate the claims. He did say that a child is heard running in the hallways, and so he himself leaves out little toys for it to play with. He also told a story of a gentleman that had decided to end it all in one of the rooms after having an argument with one of the nurses. Again, I couldn't substantiate that claim. Again, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just can't find any evidence of such a thing happening. There was another story attached to the building as well, which apparently took place in the gardens out the front of the Linacre. Again, I couldn't substantiate it, but I'll talk to you about that more later. The building you see out of this window is still being utilised today. It's being used to house businesses and offices. As you can see, the gardens are really quite pretty. That's just the view from the front. So Beechworth Asylum was one of the 3 largest asylums built in the 1800s in Victoria. There was also the Ararat Asylum and also the Kew Asylum. The asylum sat on 260 acres of farmland. It was a self-sufficient hospital. Basically, they had their own kitchens, livestock. They even sold livestock. Like, it was a thriving business, so to speak, also, because a lot of what they grew and what they tended to, they were able to sell as well. And for recreation, the asylum had tennis courts, it had a big oval. They played cricket there. There was a cricket pavilion and even a theatre. One of the things that Beechworth has is something called the ha-ha wall. Anybody that was not a patient, from the outside of the wall, it looks just like a brick wall, like nothing too imposing. But on the inside of the wall, you can see out to freedom. So as a patient, you could be out in the courtyard, look out at the view over the wall. But if you walk towards it, because of the incline in the ground, you come to the bottom of the wall, and it's actually, you just wouldn't be able to get over it. It looks very different from the patient's point of view. Deaths at this hospital, this asylum, were in the thousands. I did go into the coroner's database, the Victorian government's database. I pulled quite a few reports. A couple I had to pay for, but that's okay. That's part and parcel of what I do. One of the stories that is told when you visit, but I have seen that people go on the ghost tours, and they're told that a lady jumped from this window to her death on the ground below because she was trying to escape. Now, in trying to find proof about this particular story, I did come across a lady who did pass from a fall, Lillian Winters. So Lillian, according to her death certificate, died in the hospital on the grounds from an injury resulting from a fall. So she was being called in with the other patients, and she tripped on a gutter and hit her head. Now, that leads me to another story about a gentleman named Ernest. Now, Ernie had wandered off. He was prone to do so. The police did go out. The local police went and looked for him. That no one could find him. And then what happened was some kiddies were out rabbiting and came across poor old Ernie in a ditch. And his cause of death, they didn't state because the body was too decomposed, but they're assuming just the fact that he was elderly, frail, he's had a fall, and that's where he's landed. The reason I found Ernie was because I was looking for another death. A man was missing, no one could find him. People were standing around the gatehouse at the asylum when a dog came running up with a man's foot in his mouth. Off they ran to find out where this dog had got the leg, the limb. They came to the front of the asylum, and there was a tree, and there was this gentleman in the tree where he had obviously been, according to the story, for this whole 10 days. He was decomposed, and that was the missing man. And they say that he haunts the grounds near the tree. One of the stories you get told when you do the group tour, or any tour, is that of John Conlon and Abraham Reeves. So basically, Abraham was sitting in front of the fireplace. John came up behind him and hit him in the back of the head with a broomstick. Abraham's fallen forward into the hearth of the fire, and he died, unfortunately, from the burns a couple of days later. So that's a true story. So if you go to that building, that might be someone that you would come across in an investigation. Another person that died from the very similar wounds, to be honest, was Hugh McLeod. Same building, by the by. He was left unattended and somehow managed to fall into the fire. Poor old Hugh passed away in the infirmary a few days later. I also noted when doing my research, the amount of people whose cause of death was written as disease of the brain and exhaustion was quite intriguing. There were many deaths in that hospital, and a lot of them from doing it to themselves. So there was also cause of death, asphyxia, for example. As I say, thousands and thousands of people passed away at the Beechworth Asylum. The group investigation. Well, I did have fun, I have to say. As much as I hate group investigations for a lot of reasons, I guess I had fun at this one because I was with my mate Lisa. The guide was terrific. He knew what he was doing, which was refreshing. As you can see, quite noisy, so honestly impossible to get any evidence if you were trying. And I did try, as you'll see in a moment. Oh, a bat. I forgot about the bat. Lots of bats at Beechworth. in regard to this building I'm currently in, and it was where the criminally insane were housed, the males. They had these individual cells that they would be locked in for most of the day, only let out to shower and eat. They were well behaved.
Is that still recording? I'm recording now. I just turned it on. Oh, terrific. Alright, so I'm going to set it up right here. You'll be able to see it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Where I put that. Yeah, you'll see it, you'll see it. That's not a creepy looking chair. Yeah.
The other thing I find on group investigations is the amount of people that often come along to these and claim to be mediums, empaths, just basically have the ability to hold conversations with the dead. I had one lady there who told me that the spirits did not want to speak into my microphone or camera, that they had no interest in doing so. It was amusing.
No, it was more.
But, yeah, I'm quite the skeptic when it comes to that sort of thing, sorry. In a moment, there'll be a little bit of footage coming up where both Lisa and I are in the morgue by ourselves. The other 4 people remain in the other room. We were filming, basically having a little bit of a chit-chat, and for a moment we were quiet.
Sort of.
And
That's
in that moment, within the room and between the two of us, that's the direction that we heard it come from, was some kind of funny little whisper and a voice. We both audibly heard it, looked at each other and said, "Did you hear that?" We both heard it, and luckily the camera picked it up too. I can't say with 100% certainty it wasn't interference from outside somewhere. I was aware of the others in the other room and what they were doing.
I wonder what that room is. Oh, could have been the X-ray. Back in the room. You might have X-rays on there. You can see my pictures. Yep. Do you hear that? Yeah. They might have X-rays in here. You're getting some good pictures. It's good. Yeah. Do you hear that? Yeah. What did you hear? Talking. Something. Yeah. I wonder if I called it on any of this. Are you still going with the camera? Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a... Yeah, wasn't them talking? No, something else was in here. So Lisa and I just heard a voice. I'm not quite sure. It was like a... I don't know, we'll see if we pick it up in the camera. It wasn't the people next door, it was too close. Would you say that, Lisa? Yeah, it sounded like it wasn't there, just out there where they are.
It was
somewhere
sort of
else
here.
in here, but it was different voice.
The other interesting thing is after we heard that, I sit down and you will see that we're just discussing what had happened. Wear your headphones and let me know what you think you do or don't hear. You can definitely hear people in the other room talking, but from my perspective, I could hear like a conversation in front of me coming from my left, so left of camera. Lisa picks up on it and says, "Did you hear something again?" I say yes, and then I hear it again. And that is when we get up to go and have a look at where it's coming from. Again, I cannot say it's paranormal because there were other people there, but in the moment and being present in that room, it was very much in that room. It didn't seem to be coming from out of the other rooms.
Different, yeah. Do you hear it again?
Yes. Where are you? Are you down the hallway? I can hear them. And there's noise.
No, it's them in there. The noise is him.
No. Oh, could have been.
No, I think it was him walking.
Yeah, on the walking, yeah, but not that noise.
That's them making noise.
That's me now, but not that voice. Not that.
Yeah, it's like that's them whistling, surely.
Oh, it's not a whistle, it's that bird. You know that bird we heard today?
No, it sounds different.
Does it?
Sorry, I didn't mean the kitchen bird.
Oh, it's a dead body.
I hope it's a mum. I hope it's a, what do you call it? A
dummy.
dummy thing.
Let's stand still again and see if we hear that again now that we're away from them.
Holy crap, no thanks. Yep.
Right.
Oh, they could have gone around.
No, that's... Well, yeah, I can hear their noises, but that noise again. I think that's them now.
That's them.
Are you guys whispering?
What's up?
Were you whispering then, keeping it? Were you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would.
We
will.
definitely. We're in there.
Yeah.
We could hear you in there.
Mhm.
But there was. I'm hoping the camera picked it up. There was. We couldn't quite hear what it said. We both looked at each other and heard it was like a. But it wasn't you. You were right in the room next to us. You were
Yeah,
up in the
yeah.
way, up there. And then we heard it again, and then we heard it again from down here.
Yeah.
But now you've walked down this way, so that's why I said, is that you whispering
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Weird.
No,
I heard a footstep come forward and I went, nope,
Yeah.
nope, can't go there.
I have heard footsteps in here before, so.
Yeah.
But just one. I just
Yeah,
heard
very
one.
interesting.
Wasn't that weird? Did you see that? How my shadow of me went up and down? No. I didn't even move. I think that's the thing. If you watch the shadow of me.
People are moving their torches around though. That could have been.
Yeah, that's me.
That's the torch moving, yeah.
Keep watching and see what's going on.
That's mine. It's me.
So this is one of the wards from back in the day. This building I will research, but I believe it was 1876 that the boy said. Built in 1876. So way back before they had antibiotics and so on. And this was the infirmary. So this was where everybody came basically when they were really sick and were going to die. And I believe he told us 1,000 documented deaths in the time that this was open, which is an awful lot of deaths. Oh, I keep forgetting the sensor lights. There are sensor lights here, people. So, oh, that's them. There's a REM pod going off down the other end. So, yeah, other than, yeah, I don't know, it's just old toys. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a bit creepy. The dolls are creepy. I had a doll similar to that one.
Oh,
similar
you
to
can
that.
set it off,
Yeah.
see? Yeah.
Down in but we were over there.
Yeah, we were out when it went off,
No,
weren't
we were
we?
in, but we were just near, we were away. That doll in the middle, that one there, I hope I had red hair. Similar face.
I had one. I wonder if that's a walking doll. She had a similar face.
Mine wasn't a walking doll, it was just a big doll.
Pretty cool, though, this room. So, yeah, guys, apart from what I'm hoping I may have caught audibly, apart from some what sounded like disembodied talking, and it was loud enough for us both to hear. Other than that, it's an awesome building, and I would think that, that would be disturbing. I would think that if you were here with just a small group and did an investigation without people talking, you may actually find something.